Hello, everyone. It's Charlene Tessier here from Strength in Numbers, and I'm back for my weekly Thursday coffee chat. As you can see, it's just myself today, and I'm talking about the numbers that matter most in your business so that you can accelerate your growth. Now, I am about to put on a really big event. It's my fourth summit. It's coming up in March 17th to the 19th, and I've scaled up big time. I've gone to over 20 speakers. I'm going to have many partners. It's going to be a kind of a different format as well. It's still going to be all live. It's going to be workshops. It's going to be super exciting. And because I put on so many of these live summits and live events, people always ask me, so what's a really good number or target that I should kind of hit to say that I did really well? Well, let's say that you put on a one-day workshop. Let's just start with something really simple. And you tell me you got 10 people. Well, first you have to really clarify, does that mean you got 10 people to sign up, or did 10 people show up live? Let's say that you actually got 10 people to show up live, and therefore you definitely got a lot more to sign up. Generally, you will need at least whatever your number of people that do actually arrive there. I would say 10 to 20% will be the amount that come and show up. And so you will need quite a few more in order to actually get that 10 to be there live. Now, we can say that, okay, you did get 10 there live, and that's great. And some people might say, what, you only got 10 people on your call? That wasn't a very good result. And another person will say, 10 people, that's amazing. You got 10 to show up. That's wonderful. Now, which one is right? Neither is actually right. It's really about the perspective of the person who's running the event. And the best way to do this is for you to set your goals before you run your event and try to be as realistic as possible. So if you've run things in the past, then you do kind of have an idea as to how many should show up, 5, 10. And so for you, maybe if you've already run some events and usually 15 to 20 people show up with a 10 people show up rate, then you think, okay, I didn't do well. I got to fix this, got to revamp it. But if you haven't run anything before, or if you run really only, say, Facebook Lives or very small scale things, and 10 people show up, well, that's probably really amazing. You're happy more than, one at least showed up live for your call. And so it really is perspective. And it's really important to actually set the goal, even if you've never run an event, to set at least a very sort of baseline goal that you would be personally happy with. So when I ran my very first summit, I was happy if 20 people would sign up and 3 to 5 people showed up live on every call. I had 40 people sign up, and I had between 5 and 10 people show up on every call. So I was like raving happy, right? But if you don't set that goal, especially before the event occurs, you often feel that what you did was not a success. And I can give you an example of somebody I work with. She ran her event in the fall of 2020. She ran a 3-day summit that was recorded, so it wasn't very big, just 6 or so speakers and I think 1 or 2 live panels. And she didn't really set any intention. She just ran it to see what would happen. And she spoke to me after the event in the new year saying, hey, I ran my summit, but honestly, it didn't do very well. So I can only really justify doing this again if I do much better. And I asked her, like, what do you mean it didn't do very well? Nobody signed up or nobody saw the recordings? And she said, actually, yeah, 40 people signed up and, 3 to 10 people viewed the recordings. And I said, and for you, that wasn't a success for your very first time? She says, no, it was not. And so, again, it's really a perspective. if she had sort of set the intention or the goal that if 20 people signed up and, at least one, each recording was viewed at least once, then she may have had a different kind of opinion about whether her event was a success or not. I said to her, I think your event was a success. It was amazing. It was the first time you had ever done anything like that. You have a very small list. You were still able to get 40 people to actually join your summit, sign up, and all of the recordings were watched at least once. Of course, we can build on that and improve on it in the next one. But before we do that, we should always set the goals for the next event. What's the intention and what do we want to actually achieve? And so if you're planning to run your next event, think about your intentions. Think about also where you're at. If it's your very, very first time, right? Still set something so that you have somewhere to kind of go from and move from. And of course, if it's your first time, try to be, ultra realistic. And usually that's a lot lower of a number than you think. And if you've already run events in the past, you can use your past baseline, of course, as a gauge, but also still set an intentions to stretch yourself a little bit, to improve yourself, and to be realistic as to what you can actually achieve. And once you achieve that, one of the things we often forget to do as entrepreneurs is to celebrate it. We don't take the moment to pause and say, hey, I achieved that. I actually did it. I got 40 opt-ins I never would have gotten before. And now I get to move forward into the next step. But we often just jump into that next step and say, what's next? What's next? And we totally forget to just take a moment and, appreciate that we had these wins for ourselves. And it was very difficult to get these wins. And so whatever goal you do decide to set for your next event, I really recommend thinking about what would really make sense for you. And so I look forward to chatting with you again next Thursday. And next week, I will be talking a lot more about the Strength in Numbers Live 3-day event and starting to showcase all of the really amazing speakers and presenters who are going to be there. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. And I really look forward to seeing you next week.